This is a two-part question. First answer part A, then part B. Part A. Which option best summarizes the main idea or central theme of the passage above using the four W's: who, what, when, and where? Carrier pigeons. People have used pigeons to carry messages to one another for hundreds of years. In the 12th century, the royal palaces of Iraq and Syria included pigeon houses so the kings could be kept informed of their generals' victories and defeats on the battlefield. In fact, pigeons were a common way to send messages right up through World War II. In 1815, an English banker named Nathan Rothschild made his fortune by relying on messages sent to him by carrier pigeons. English troops were fighting Napoleon's forces in France, and the English were believed to be losing. A financial panic gripped London. Government bonds were offered at low prices. Few people noticed that Rothschild was snapping up these bonds when everyone else was desperately trying to sell them. A few days later, London learned the truth. The Duke of Wellington had defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. The value of the bonds soared, and Rothschild became famously wealthy, all because of his pigeons had brought him the news of victory before anyone else knew it. Most of the time, however, carrier pigeons were used to benefit an entire country, not just one individual. The United States, England, France, Germany, and Italy, in both World War I and World War II, used carrier pigeons. Not only were the birds one of the fastest, most reliable ways to send messages, they could also be used to reach soldiers far beyond enemy lines, where radios and field telephone lines were useless. Since they could easily be released from airplanes or ships, every branch of the armed services used the birds. In World War II, more than 3,000 soldiers and 150 officers were needed to care for and train tens of thousands of birds in the U.S. pigeon service. Carrying messages could be a dangerous job. Some pigeons performed with such bravery that they became famous and were even awarded medals, such as England's Dickin Medal of Gallantry. In a few cases, pigeons even became prisoners of war. In 1918, American forces captured a pigeon named the Kaiser, which had been trained to fly special missions for Germany during the battle. He was taken to America, where he lived to the age of 32. The most famous pigeon of all may have been Cher Ami, stationed in France during World War I. He carried 12 important messages for American forces. On his last mission, though wounded, he carried a message that saved the lives of 194 American soldiers. For his extraordinary service, he was awarded the French Croix de Guerre. Carrier pigeons are a slightly different breed from the kind of pigeon you see in city streets. They are much thinner and taller, with longer legs. Many people find carrier pigeons ugly because of their big wattle, a knobby buildup of skin on the beak. However, people who raise pigeons often enjoy this odd appearance and consider carriers the best of their breed. Today, modern communication methods can carry information from one place to another 100 times faster than a pigeon could do it. However, few people will argue the fact that carrier pigeons, especially those that served in the military, have earned their place in history. Stories about brave pigeons such as Cher Ami, President Wilson, and the Colonel's Lady have the power to inspire us as no fax machine or high-speed internet connection could ever do. Part A continued. From option A, from as early as the 12th century to as late as World War I, people have used pigeons to carry messages to one another all around the world. Option B, today, modern communication methods can carry information from one place to another, anywhere around the world, hundreds of times faster than a pigeon could do it. Option C, in 1918, American forces captured a pigeon named the Kaiser in Europe and took him back to the United States. Option D, carrier pigeons are a slightly different breed from the kind of pigeon you see on the streets. Part B, which sentence from the text best supports your answer to Part A? A, Carrier pigeons are a slightly different breed from the kind of pigeon you see on city streets, paragraph 6. Option B. Most of the time, however, carrier pigeons were used to benefit an entire country, not just one individual, paragraph 3. C. For his extraordinary service, he was awarded the French Croix de Guerre, paragraph 5. Option D. However, few people would argue with the fact that carrier pigeons, especially those that served in the military, have earned their place in history, paragraph 7.